Welcome back to Bolt Action Bunker, and in this episode I'm going to customise my two buildings that came with the Band of Brothers starter set. So I just want to start by showing you some of the ideas that I've had and that I play with every time I build a model. The big building for the starter set, I like to put tiles on the roof, only a few. I want to start there, so I've got some tiles cut ready to go on the roof, and I'll show you those in a minute. And I've got one other idea that I want to play with as well, with the bigger building. And the smaller building, I'd like to try and create a small roof on here as well. So I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, I started off with some foam board, put the small building onto the foam board, drew round it, and then just cut a shape out that I wanted for the building, for the base. Now this is not too big, I wanted it nice and small so I can use this as scatter terrain. I did exactly the same for the bigger building. Slightly larger piece of foam board, drew round the building, place it on where I want it to go, and that's the size I want to use. So I'm going to glue these down and I'll be back in a minute. Now then, while that's drying, I'm going to show you what I do for the roof tiles. This is just a thin piece of card, and I cut out just some small pieces, little squares, little oblongs. I don't measure them, they're just rough. They're meant to be roof tiles, meant to be slates. So once I've got enough for what I want to do, you don't want too many, I'm going to super glue these onto the roof section. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue down this edge, and then just take the tiles, start at the bottom, and just pop them on. Try not to be too uniform with them, because after all they're meant to be damaged. Like that there. Maybe not quite the best camera angle, but you can see that there. I just put one more up that top, just there, just to give it a little feel of that one's hanging on. Like that. So, as you can see, nice and easy with those 6 little tiles. Put them there. Now, the next step, I'm going to put some gravel just around the outside, just to build up the contour, give it a bit more, a better look around this outside of the building. So, I've got a small tub of gravel. I picked this up at the local park when I was out walking one day, so you know, it doesn't cost anything. Just a small pieces of gravel. Again, I'm gonna super glue this round, not too much here, but just enough on there, just to make it look like that's all fallen down and fallen through. And as you can see, it's nice and easy. You can do this really easy. It doesn't take a lot of effort, but it will really make your building stand out, especially once you've got it on a table and you've got some terrain on there. Nearly done there. I'll do a little bit more around this side. If you are using super glue, just remember it will stick your fingers together if you put your fingers in it. So that is going to be the bigger building with the bigger gravel round. Now I'm going to do the same with the smaller one. Again, not going too mad with the stones. It just takes that uniform shape away from the model itself. Just makes it a little bit different to how it would normally look, and like everybody else's terrain. And you can spend as much time as you want putting this round. Again, I think we're nearly there. There we go. So that's with the little stones with the gravel. You can see it just takes the edge off of the plastic kit that we've had here and around here. Gives it a little bit more effect. Right, the next step I'm going to do, I'm going to put exactly the same again around the outside, but this time I'm going to use a sand. Or you can use a fine grit. I've got some play pit sand from the local hardware store. It's the cheapest way to buy it. So I'm just going to run around a little bit of glue on here, running round. The super glue will just run into those places where you need it. I'm going to put a little bit on top as well to try and fill these gaps. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of this sand over the top. Let that sink in. And round this side as well. Around here you can see the gaps underneath the model will now just fill in. All the way round. Let that one dry. Move back over to our smaller one. Make sure everything's off. Now on this one there was a few bigger gaps just around the plastic where it wasn't, only fitted where it touched. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue in there. And when we put the sand on, when we sprinkle this sand on, hopefully it will just fill that gap. Now at this stage you've not got to be too careful. You just want to put a bit of coverage on, because the results will come once you start putting some paint on this. Last little bit around this side. Put any down the back here. There we go. just like that. I think that is all the gaps. There we go. So we'll just shake that off. Shake that one off. And as you can see already, that's quite effective all the way around. Well, I'm going to let that dry and we'll carry on. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to make a small fence for part of the building. Now I've got here some balsa wood. This is 1 mil thick. You can buy this from your hobby shop, your local hobby shop. Now all I'm going to do is cut this. It's the easiest thing in the world to cut. Into smaller pieces, like into planks. So we'll do this, just make a few, as you can see. Very little effort is needed to make a few planks. So let's cut the balsa wood up into a few small planks, and then again I don't want them too high, so I'll just cut these into 3s. It doesn't matter too much if they're odd sizes. I'm going to cut them down again in a minute. Now I've made the fence, you can see I've done it. I've used this 1 mil balsa wood just to cut into the planks and put a very small strip along the back just to hold them in place. And then what I'm going to do now is just place it to make sure it's the right size on the building. So I want it here. That looks good to me. It's not too big. So with my knife, I'm just going to go along now and make this a little bit more ragged. And like I say, it's very easy to cut. You can break it away. You just want to make it old and rickety. Just cut a few of the little tops off, the top bits. If you can, just make a hole in it. It is easy to do. So now we've got this. You can see it coming along. I'm just going to cut another little hole in here, just to finish that look. There we go. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to stick that on. Right, I've taken a small piece of balsa wood and put it across the top of this small building to make a beam. I'm just going to go along the beam now and just cut away some of the edge, just to roughen it up so it's not square. There we go. Just like that. And now I'm going to build off of here a small roof section. So I put some tiles along the front here and a couple of uprights as well. I'm not going to do no more. Quite pleased with how that came out. So I think if I do any more, it will start to look a bit too much over the top with that. And you can see the sand's dried off now around the rubble, and that's looking a lot better as well. So I'm going to stop there with that, and I'll show you the fence that we've just done. So the fence is here now, and I've just put a little bit of sand along the bottom. A little bit of sand along the bottom of the fence line, both sides, just to keep that in place, give that a bit more stability. So that's coming along well as well. Right, next up I've cut some more 1mm balsa into small planks. Now I'm going to use this to make floorboards in the building. So there's our building. I'm just going to glue these to the floor inside the building to make some floorboards. I'll do that and then I'll show you what they look like when they're in. Now, as you can see, I've glued the planks down at the floor. They're all different sizes and different shapes. I've just nibbled away at some of the balsa wood just to make them look beaten up. So when we paint these, that will give that a really nice effect. Now, just to give it a little bit extra effect, if you're going to dry brush this later on, you can get your knife and just scrape away at the balsa wood just a little bit on the top. Just make some indents into it, and then later on when you come to paint this, they'll really show up and it'll give that a really good look on the top. Again, I've done the same with the bigger house. Put them in there. Just going to scrape some of these off. Just to give them a bit more of a shape, so I can dry brush these later on. So, I hope you liked this little tutorial as such of what it is, just how you can smarten up a building and make it your own. So the roof tiles were just some thin card, some sand, some gravel that I picked up from the floor, and 1mm balsa. Now I'll just show you a close-up of the building just before we finish up. So they're the roof tiles, they're the floorboards, that's the little fence we made with the sand around. The stone. That's going to look really nice when it's painted. And again, smaller one with a small piece of roof, a few tiles on there. I had to put that many on just to justify holding the roof beam up. So there we go. Some sand around there. Make that, finish that off. And again, the floor, it's all in. That just personalises everything, just to make it your own. There you go. Well, I hope you like this video. Subscribe if you want to see some more, comment below, and I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for watching.